Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Jill Tolles, Executive Director of the Guinn Center for Policy Priorities, filling in for Sam Shad. Today we have Beth Smith, President of the Washoe County School Board, for the first time for the entire show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Find your pot of gold at Carson Valley Inn during the Leprechaun Loop Progressive giveaways. Jackpot progresses $2,500 each drawing night up to $20,000. And $10,000 in grand prize giveaways guaranteed Saturday, March 30th. Get your share of Leprechaun loot at the Carson Valley Inn.
Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. It's a 50,000 square foot chick magnet. March is chick season at Big R. All locations. Cute, adorable, and save 10% on all chick feed and supplies. Bring the kids. Chick season at Big R. Hardware, chicks, and a whole lot more.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you. But we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Jill Tolles. I'm Executive Director of the Guinn Center for Policy Priorities, filling in for Sam Shad on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers with our first-time guest, Beth Smith, the President of the Washoe County School Board. Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jill. I'm really glad to be here.
Absolutely. Well, excited that you are here as well. Now, you were first appointed to this position in 2021, and you're finishing up your first full term. What was the journey to serving on the school board, and what are some of the lessons you've learned?
So my journey to becoming a school board trustee really began when my older son was in kindergarten. So my journey really began with a bulletin board with a whole lot of little construction paper bumblebees. And I was counting them on this board because I realized that my son was in kindergarten with 45 children. And this was back in 2016. And I realized in that moment that public education really needs our love and our support. And it was from that moment on that I really started volunteering and being involved with the district, knowing that if you want to actually make something better, you need to contribute to it and not just bring it down. And so from there, I was appointed to the school board in 21, and then the community chose me to stay on in a special election in 22.
Excellent. And what are some of the lessons that you've learned in your tenure?
I have learned that there's more than one right answer. It is really fascinating to see all the different decisions you have to make and the perspectives that you can and should be hearing. If you're going to be a really good public servant, you understand that we all have our own perspective, and that's not just the only perspective that there is. There's a lot of worthy things out there. There's a lot of different ways that people think and believe. And if you really want to serve as many people as you can, you open up your mind and your heart to that. And that also means changing your position on things and understanding that there's more than one right way to look at things.
Yeah. Excellent. So we feel like we hear the school district in the headlines all the time. And education just in general is across the nation a constant conversation. And so what do you say are the biggest challenges that the school district is facing right now?
I would say there's a few. The first is probably absenteeism, because you can't teach children that aren't at school. And one of the things that I did want to clarify is what chronic absenteeism actually means. A lot of people don't realize that chronic absenteeism is only missing 10% of school. So that's 2 weeks over the course of a school year, or even 2 days a month. And I think that's really important to clarify, so that when we have our percentages on chronic absenteeism, a lot of people think that that means missing 40 or 50% of school. And unfortunately that does happen, but really you trigger that after missing even just a couple days a month overall. And we're still making our way back after the pandemic. Prior to that, our chronic absenteeism rate was about 17%. Last school year it was 27%, and this year we're looking at around 23%, so we're going in the right direction. But we really have to make sure that students and their families really feel connected to school. And that's been a lot of our decision-making process this year with the board, and a lot of our budget priorities has been trying to recommit kids and their families to school and making them really feel seen and safe there.
So what is the barrier for students and parents coming back into school post the pandemic? Was it just that they found that they fell out of the habit? Maybe doing things online became too easy, or taking trips, traveling, other stresses?
Mental health is a big part of that too. So, when you start missing school, it can become a cycle. There's academic frustration that happens. There's also things that are going on with everyone individually. So we've really been tackling it with engagement, and then also with mental health support, which is another big challenge that we have. So we've got great partners with the Children's Cabinet, which helps connect our families to no-cost counseling, and then also Signs of Suicide, which is a program that they help us administer, particularly in our middle schools. And then we also work with an organization called Communities in Schools, which actually sets up programs directly in our schools. We have them in 15 schools right now. They provide counseling, basic needs, clothes, family support, so that we're really making sure that families understand that they're welcome here and that their kids are supported, because there's a variety of different reasons. And we're also expanding our family home visit program, which are the professionals that go out and actually meet with families and talk with them one-on-one and understand what's going on, so that we can create solutions and support that match them individually, because generic programs are only ever so successful. Every individual student and their family has their own story, and so you really have to provide that personalized support, and that's where we're growing with that.
So many needs out there. Do you feel like we're making progress?
We are making progress. Absolutely, we're making progress, because families are also using their voices to be more involved too. And that's how we set our priorities with the strategic plan, for example. One of the things that came out of that was actually hearing that 6th graders needed to have access to sports in middle school. And our board just approved last night to provide funding for that. So we're actually creating this beautiful process of people being able to say what they need, and for us to be able to actually address those needs. But we don't know what to work on if people aren't talking with us. And so we've really been strengthening those cycles of communication and making sure that what it is we offer matches what people need.
Excellent. Back to the headlines, and also looking at trends just across the United States. School boards have been on the hot seat, and let me just say as a disclaimer, as a former elected official myself, I don't know that the public understands that the increase over the last few years in harassment and threats, and the overarching impact that has on public servants wanting to focus on the job. So, everything from lawsuits to harassment and threats to just seemingly constant controversies. Can you talk a little bit about those and how you address them?
That's a great question, and I appreciate it. Right now, and for the past couple years, public education seems to be in this echo chamber of negativity, and a lot of that is just manipulation, quite frankly. There are plenty of things we can and are doing better, but it's also very challenging when you get into headline wars that just deal with part of a story or part of a situation. And then also the way that people actually behave at school board meetings. So what I would ask the public to really consider is to pause, particularly here in Washoe County. We all know someone in public education. It could be your sister-in-law or your neighbor or a friend. These are our teachers, these are our librarians, and I ask everyone to pause and to think, if I'm being told that our kindergarten teachers are indoctrinators or our librarians should be feared, I need our community members to stop and to go, wait, I know these people, and I know that this is not what's happening. And that doesn't mean that public education can and shouldn't be better, and we're working on that, but I do believe that there's a degree of manipulation that we're not acknowledging as a society and as a community. And that really is a responsibility that we all have individually. And then we have the issue of our school board meetings and what happens. A couple meetings ago, we had a community member that came with a very, very large name tag, this big, identifying himself as a domestic terrorist at our school board meeting. And so I think as a community, we have to understand that we don't support that. And that is the kind of attention that we're actually getting right now from a small group in the community. And then as for headlines and the different matters that we have going on, I think everybody has to remember that you should be proud of an organization that protects people. And it might be your child or someone you know or someone that you never know, but it's really important to know that you don't ever want a government or an employer or anybody in our community to get into a headline war about what's true and what's not in different perspectives, because at the end of the day, we're really responsible for protecting children and our team members. And this is something that we do for every single child every day, every single staff member, and every single community member. And that's actually an ideal that we're holding up and that I'm proud of.
Well, I'd like to dig into that more, but we do have to take a quick break, and would like to also make sure we make time to really focus on student outcomes and the things that you're doing at the district, and what you think are the most important ways to see progress, because we certainly have a lot of work to do. So with that, well, we will be right back.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology, like this electronic eye, that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you, because trucks move America forward.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Jill Tolles, Executive Director of the Guinn Center, filling in for Sam Shad, and I am joined again today by Beth Smith, from our president of the Washoe County School Board. And Beth, we finished the last segment talking about some of the disruption with controversies and the way that can get in the way of focusing on students and student outcomes. So I really want to shift into that. But there is also a place for citizen voice and for public scrutiny and accountability. So what are the best ways for citizens to engage factually and effectively to make sure that they're being heard?
Absolutely. So we really enjoy public comment, hearing directly from members of the community. We've involved the community with our facilities modernization plan, which is really talking with all the different corners of our community about the way that they envision schools in their neighborhoods and as we build new schools and renovate schools. And then we also have the superintendent search, and we just recently engaged the community and had more than 500 community members reach out about what it is that they're looking for in our next leader, because this isn't just a top boss of the school district, this is a community leader that we're bringing in. And so we've really been taking a lot of steps to really bring in the community voice in a lot of these processes, and it's really up to people to take advantage of those opportunities too.
So the superintendent search, I think since I've been engaged as an advocate, as a parent, and as a legislator, I think I counted the other day that I've been through 6 or 7 superintendents. And so the community is feeling a bit raw. What can we do to ensure that this next person is the right person and that they're going to stay?
And for starters, that's too many. That's too many superintendents. Something that's really important for everyone to hear is that Washoe County is not a pass-through. It's not somewhere that you come through on your way up. We are a great place to live and to work, and we have so many things going in our favor. And so what we're really looking for and hearing loud and clear from the community is someone who's really committed to our district. We have the power of WC1, which is the voter measure that helps us build new schools. We have a strong functioning group of professionals. We have new investments from the legislature in terms of funding. And so we have all of these great wins pushing us forward, and we're a fantastic place to live and work. And that's really what we're looking for, is not somebody who's just interested in another job on their resume, but somebody who's looking to actually serve our community. And I think you'll see that very keenly from our board and our upcoming decisions.
Excellent. So let's shift to what this is all about, and it's students and student achievements and how we can move forward in outcomes for these students, and everything from math and reading to career and college readiness. So where do we stand today in those rankings, and what are we doing about it to move the needle?
I really appreciate that question. So we still have a ways to go. Like Washoe County, like many states and school districts, have not been seeing the gains that we're looking for in education post-pandemic. But it doesn't mean that we're not progressing. So one of the examples that I wanted to give is there's a test called SBAC, which stands for Smarter Balanced Assessment. And so when you look at where we are with our 5th graders have an English language arts proficiency of around 46%. That's definitely not high enough. But when you look at the top state that also uses SBAC, that's the state of Washington, and that top state is 53%. Okay, so our 5th graders are around 46%, and the very top state in terms of ranking is 53. And I'm not at all saying that 46% and 53% are high enough, because they're not. But it does provide a context about we are making gains, and even though that top state is still not a very high number and we need to push past that, there's a context in terms of the way public education and education in general needs to be better nationally. And I offer that so people in the community know that it's not just a percentage being put in front of you, but the larger context. And I feel that that context is often missing. I hear that a lot as well when you hear 49th in the nation. What does that mean? It's not even an accurate number. That actually was used to reflect our funding that we received per pupil, and that was prior to the 23 legislature. So prior to this last session, Washoe County only received about $6,500 per student, and that was lowest in the entire state of Nevada. Now following this session, now we're at about $9,300, which is great. That's a fantastic improvement, and I'd love to talk about what it is we're using with that funding to serve our kids. So when people hear things like 49th in the nation, I want them to understand that that's a manipulated context that isn't even accurate anymore, and it definitely does not reflect the progress and the potential of our kids. It's not even an accurate number.
it also includes the educational levels of parents, which seems like an unfair standard to judge this generation by. Can you talk a little bit about the ACT tests and where that's another one that gets thrown out there a lot?
It does, and actually the ACT is kind of like, it's one of the things that bugs me, if I'm being honest. So we have to have some type of proficiency exam for 11th graders, and so the state has chosen the ACT. What most people don't realize is that Nevada tests its 11th graders earlier than any state in the nation that does comprehensive ACT testing, and we test our students before they've even been exposed to this material. So when Nevada is compared to other states, those states either test their juniors near the end of that junior year, or those students are tested a full year later. And they also have exposure to the materials. I know people watching this will say, why does the state do that? I can't answer that right now, but I do wish that we would move to a different form, because I don't think it's fundamentally fair to test our juniors on material that they haven't even been exposed to. It's not really a recipe for their success.
You also have students who know that they're not going to go to college, and so they will just rapidly just check whatever boxes. Maybe they're bound for the trades, maybe they're bound for something else, and that skews the data as well. We're going to take another quick break because we only have a few minutes left. Please join us back again on Nevada Newsmakers after these messages from the sponsors.
We're at Tamarack Casino at Nevada Steak with Chef Mike Mahoney. You have fabulous food here. This halibut is extraordinary.
The halibut was awesome. It was fun to cook. You get a nice sear on top, and then we base that with a little bit of butter and garlic and herbs and stuff. It's fabulous.
It's a lot of butter.
And
it looks really good, and it tastes even better. I'm trying this, which is the crab cake. You've got this crispy coating on the outside. What is that?
Actually, that's cornflakes.
Huh?
Cornflakes.
Really?
Yes, sir. The crispiness of the cornflake just adds more crispiness to the already, crispy crab cake. It's awesome.
It's my favorite, and I'm a crab cake fanatic. Okay, this I just tried for the first time. It's ahi tuna in a whole different way.
Ahi tuna, it's a tuna tartare. It's ground up. We mix it with a little bit of spicy mayo, a little avocado puree, and our house-made ponzu sauce in there as well.
It tastes to me like sushi without the rice. It's got all the flavorings, but it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, ribeye steak.
Ribeye steak, classic. Harris Ranch, certified Angus beef. You can't go wrong with a good steak here.
No, and that ribeye is particularly good. Again, we tried that earlier. It is fabulous.
Yeah.
The wedge salad. I love a wedge salad that comes with a giant hunk of bacon on it. So you've got healthy and you've got bacon.
A little bit of indulgence. Yeah, a little indulge. What's great about this one is the bacon is cooked fresh to order for every single salad, so it's nice and hot.
Folks, you've got to come to Tamarack, the casino in South Reno. It is a fabulous place to begin with. It's made even more fabulous by Nevada Steak and your great food. Thank you for inviting us, and we will be coming back over and over because I'm in love with this tuna, I'm in love with the crab cake, well, the ribeyes, well, the halibut. It's all good, folks.
Just about everything.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Calamity. It lurks around every corner. Or not. That's why UMC Quick Care is around every corner, with locations around the valley. UMC Quick Care, for all your small calamities.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Jill Tolles, filling in for Sam Shad here with Beth Smith, president of the Washoe County School Board. And Beth, leave us in our last couple minutes with a bullet point list of all of the things the school district is doing to focus on student outcomes, to prepare them to enter the workforce and adult life.
There's so many great things to share. So just last night we approved 70 new early education professionals because we know that the best way to start supporting our kids is when they're 3 and 4 years old. We also recognize the importance of our professionals, which is why we approved 20% increases for our educators, because we know that the best professionals we have with our kids is the most important thing we can be doing. And we also are expanding what education looks like. It's not just testing in a number and sitting in a chair. And a great example of that is the new Debbie Smith CTE Academy that's going to be opening in a year, where we're really going to be doubling our CTE education and recognizing that our students have more than just a 2 or a 4-year degree ahead of them. There's also prosperous careers in the trades that should really be lifted up. And then, and to also explore with that, sometimes learning in a classroom isn't even the best way for kids to learn. So next school year, we're opening something called the Guinn Outdoor Academy, which is in partnership with Sky Tavern. And our students who join that program in high school will be learning wildland firefighting, first aid, aviation, and they'll be learning outside and with their hands. So our job moving forward is to recognize that every child learns different and has a different brilliance, and supporting them with funding and programs that match what their future looks like for them.
Thank you so much for being on the show. There is so much more to talk about. I hope you do come back. And thank you for tuning in on this all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Story County is leading Nevada. Home of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, Google, Tesla, Panasonic, and other world-leading companies. Story County provides thousands of tech, advanced manufacturing, and logistics careers for Nevadans. We're diversifying and driving Nevada's economy and generating millions in tax revenue and billions in economic activity across northern Nevada. Story County is leading Nevada's future.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thank you for joining us today on Nevada Newsmakers. If you'd like to watch this episode or any of the archived episodes, go to nevadanewsmakers.com, and we hope to see you again real soon.